Action Point in theaters near you tomorrow about a crackpot owner of a low-rent, out-of-control amusement park based on an actual place that Mike Del Tufo once went as a kid in Vernon, New Jersey.
Yeah, Action Park, Northern Jersey.
Johnny Knoxville is here.
Never got hurt, but I know people that were.
You were one of the few.
Yeah, it was bad. It was dangerous.
That emerged unscathed.
It was also called Class Action Park, Traction Park.
That's right.
Yeah.
Traction Park.
Yeah.
I do remember being a kid because I was across the water in Staten Island, New York. It's like you got to go to Great Adventure. Do not go to Action Park.
It was like Lord of the Flies, but with booze and weed. Like there were zero adults, and the kids running the rides were loaded, so they didn't care what you did.
True.
So Piggy's doing bong hits? Is that what you're doing in terms of
The what?
Lord of the Flies? I just went.
Yeah, it was complete
Started
anarchy.
hitting the conch. Oh my gosh! So then you read about this and you're like, I got to do a movie on this. Is that
Yes.
is that how it came about?
My friend and producer Derek Freitas sent me a 14-minute doc about Action Park. It's online. You should check it out. It's amazing. Everyone's telling their stories about going there and how injured they got and how out of control it was. And they have this glow about them because it was the best time of their life because they could do whatever they wanted.
As long as they survived it.
Well, there's that.
So you thought this is a perfect way for...
Yeah, it's a perfect setting for a comedy, and I can be the owner of the park, and I can test all the rides, and I can do stunts for real. And I asked the stunt guys and the men and women stunt people to do the stunts like I did. So everyone was going to concrete and ground, and people were being carried off left and right.
On the shooting of this film.
Yeah, I got carried. This is the most injured I've ever been on a film.
Come on now. I mean, we've all seen all the Jackass movies.
Right.
Johnny,
Yeah.
seriously. Like what'd you hurt? In this?
I had 4 concussions. I broke my hand, tore my meniscus, stitches over here, whiplash, lost some teeth. And then I broke a bone on my face from one of the falls. And I didn't realize until I got back to my room from the emergency room that I had broken the bone in my face because I blew my nose and my left eye popped out of its socket.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
So you blow your nose, and then you feel your left eye come out of the
Go
orbit.
way past Marty Feldman. It's coming out.
What does that feel like?
It feels unnatural.
What? So
Yeah.
what does your wife have to say about this?
She,
Not
my
to get too
friends
deep
and
here.
family, they were happy when this film was wrapped. You know, I think they like when I do pranks, but when I do stunts, because of the way I do stunts, all mine are designed to fail. So it takes a toll on everyone.
How'd you break your eye? How did that one happen?
The doctor said I was off the Alpine slide stunt. I traveled like 20 feet in the air, and I was about 6 feet off the ground, and I stopped my forward momentum with my face. And it gave me a terrible concussion. I couldn't remember anything for 30, 40 minutes pretty much. And they said I had broken the orbital. They said I didn't break it. It disappeared. The orbital lamina bone just disappeared on impact. So when I was blowing my nose, I was blowing air behind my eyeball and pushing it out. That happened twice.
I'm sorry to laugh, but I mean...
No, it's what else can you do?
But just the matter-of-fact way in which you look great, by the way.
Well, thank you. I did it right after. It looked like a Picasso painting. Like this eye was here and this eye was way down here. It was really screwed up.
This is one of those rare moments in the radio world where I don't have to reset. Everyone knows it's Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, of course.
For these
right.
What is the most hurt you've ever been in anything that you've ever done for your career, Johnny Knoxville?
I don't know. There's been many things, but two of the things that are a little odd was when I broke my penis and then when my eye popped out a bit socket twice on Action Point. Mm-hmm. So,
do you want to review the former rather than the latter? What the first injury was? Say what?
Well, I think we covered the latter. The former was I was trying to backflip a motorcycle and I don't know how to ride a motorcycle. Travis Pastrana literally had to let out the clutch for me. And he said, just kind of keep it in low gear until you get to the bottom of the ramp. And then, like, give it all the gas you can and start pulling back. But whatever you do, don't let go of the bike, because whatever goes up has to come down. And boy, did I not listen. I did it 4 times. On the 4th attempt, I let it go, and it goes 20 feet in the air and comes back down and breaks its handlebars off of my crotch. So,
and you broke your manhood? That's
it was tore my urethra, but it was when I stood up, I felt like I was peeing, and so I looked, and every time my heart would beat, blood would shoot out my pee-pee.
oh my God!
Yeah,
I have a new fantasy name now.
What, broken urethra?
Knoxville's torn urethra.
Wow.
Dude, is there a splint for that?
I had to go straight into surgery, and I did.
Johnny,
They taped it to my leg, and I had a tube running all the way down my. So I had to pee that way for several weeks. And the worst part is, well, I don't know if I probably shouldn't go there, because I don't know what the rating is on this show.
We're good, Johnny.
But if I ever became excited with my leg taped down to my leg, then it's excited at a right angle, and that's painful.
Geometry lessons with Johnny Knoxville here on the Rich Eisen Show.
What's the Pythagorean theorem
hold
on that?
Let's take a break. When we come back, Johnny will talk about him coaching youth baseball here in the Los Angeles area. True story, correct?
Yeah.
Back in 60 seconds with the star of Action Point. Again, the latest Johnny Knoxville film, Action Point, in theaters near you starting tomorrow. And Johnny Knoxville back here on the Rich Eisen Show. Now, when you live in the Los Angeles area, you never see who from TV or film is going to just show up anywhere, in supermarkets, schools, or on a youth baseball diamond. So people might be used to that. But what's the reaction when parents bring their kids to the diamond and Johnny Knoxville is the coach of the team?
Well, I'm just the assistant coach.
You're the assistant.
Yes, and I've been doing it for a few years, so
Okay.
it's just everything's normal,
Okay.
and it's so fun.
You're not teaching head first slides?
No, I don't want them to get hurt. Like with my
Okay.
own kids, I'm like a helicopter parent. I don't want
Are
them to
you
get
really?
Totally. If they do something, say something naughty, then I'm like. But if they're climbing a tree, I'm right under the tree.
No, well,
Yeah.
because you know what can happen. Pretty much.
I just don't want to see it. So
You have not instilled your daredevil psyche.
Well, my
in your
son
children?
is
Okay.
he's got the funny look in his eye like my father. So I'm trying to steer him away from all that. But it's so fun helping coach baseball.
Yeah. So what are you as a coach? Give me Johnny Knoxville coaching philosophy.
Well, it's when they're that age, they're 8. You spend not so much time on instruction as opposed to like yelling no tackling or no wrestling in the outfield or stop drawing in the dirt
That's right,
and
dirt
put your
piles.
glove on.
Right.
So it's hilarious.
So you're teaching ready position, focus, get out there.
Well, you also you realize that some of them have trouble throwing.
Yes.
So.
Because what age? Let's clue everybody in. What age
8.
group? 8.
And, I always played baseball growing up, and it's one thing that I was always kind of decent at.
Yeah.
But I never thought about how I throw, and how to teach that. So that I'm learning just like them on how to teach them.
Right. So point the glove at your target.
Yeah.
Arm up. Get your arm up.
I don't teach them
Step
arm
and throw.
up. I tell them to start with the knuckles to the ground and then, bring it on around.
Bring it on around.
Yeah.
And follow through.
Yeah, you
step
gotta-
and throw.
Because some of them just try to do my son was doing this catcher's move and just bringing it from his ear. And he's got a
Yes.
great arm, but I'm like, you're not using any of your body, so.
Then it's amazing when the ball's hit and an actual put out takes place.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it's one of those bad news bears moments where Lupus just catches the ball and it's just the most amazing thing happens, or somebody fields it, steps on second.
Yeah, and there's
it's
no
a
one
party.
running to second. That happens constantly.
It's amazing.
Someone stealing third and the the third baseman has no clue. It goes
Right.
straight by his ear. You know, pop flies are a miracle in that age.
So,
at that age,
what sort of baseball player were you, Johnny?
I was a pitcher and first baseman.
Really?
Yeah.
So what was your game as a pitcher? I mean, did you throw heat? You were a junk baller? What
I
were you?
had a pretty good fastball and just fastball and curve, and that seemed to get me through high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get any looksies for the
I
next
blew
level?
my arm out my senior year, but I could have. I could have played college ball. You know, there was a couple of. I'd have probably went to junior college ball and then to college.
Okay.
But after that, my arm, I blew it out, and then I decided to move to Los Angeles instead. But God, I miss baseball. And
Just playing it, or do you watch it at all, or no, you don't?
playing it,
Okay.
you know.
You're not really a spectator when it comes down to that stuff.
I watch a little, not as much as I used to, but I love going to the games. I mean, I love coaching because I'm having more fun than any of the kids out there. It's so fun.
Well, that's good because you have to. I mean, the kids at age 7, age 8 need to be focused in some way, shape. We got to get out there and rally the kids and have some fun.
yeah, focus is a big thing at that
my
age,
God, tell
and
me
my
about it.
age too.
Well, we've also just heard about the number of concussions you've had. Johnny Knoxville here on the Rich Eisen Show. And you're more boxing or MMA? Which one are you? Last we had you on, we were talking major prize fight stuff with you.
Yeah, I love boxing. I just watch MMA more these days because there's so many terrible decisions in boxing, and they constantly break my heart. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to give it one more chance, and then you'll have the Goblik and Canelo Alvarez decision, and it just drives me up a wall.
So you enjoy? Have you been to an MMA? Have you gone to a UFC or anything? like
No, I haven't been to a fight, but I watch them all the time. I buy them constantly.
that? Okay.
And their decisions seem to be pretty good. But isn't it the Nevada State Athletic Commission? Don't they?
Well, I mean,
filter the same judges, or
don't you think most of them end in submission anyway? Most of them somebody beaten to a bloody pulp when it all comes down to it.
why can't they post the results after each round like a baseball game? The judges,
Should
make
we pass that
people
on?
responsible.
I like that.
Because it's all like a sheet. Like you don't know what's going on. And then you get this one-sided judge. Like, where is this judge coming from? And it's like 8-point different from the other judges.
Maybe you should get Conor McGregor in your next movie. What do you think of that idea?
Yeah. Well, he would be great because, I mean, he loves the camera and he's good on camera.
He strikes me like as a character from a Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah,
Like
he's
straight
up
outta
for
Lock,
it.
Stock,
Totally.
and Two Smoking Barrels. Like
That walk.
He's got that whole Vinnie Jones thing
Yeah.
going, I think. He's kind of got that charisma.
He's eat up with charisma.
So how much longer are you going to do this, Johnny?
Well, I don't know. How much longer is the interview?
No, you know what I mean? Not the interview. I mean your career where you're throwing your body all over the place.
I know that there's only so many chances I can take, because one of my stunts, I don't know how they're going to end. I know it's going to end bad, but I don't know how.
Okay.
So
So what's next?
I don't know. I'm developing a couple of other movies and just taking a break from stunts for a second just because of all the concussions.
I think that's a wise maneuver, Johnny.
One of my few.
And you're not going to the Big Slick this year because your movie's open tomorrow, right?
I wish I was going to the Big Slick. It's a wonderful event. It benefits the Children's Mercy Hospital in Kansas City, and I just can't do it this year.
I know, and that's where you and I we had an early flight the next morning after the big event, and we both took a cab ride together back. And the cabbie said he needed to stop for gas and stopped off in this sketchy gas station at like 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I remember just the difference this is the difference of the way we're both wired. I'm thinking to myself, like, oh man, what the hell's going to happen next? And you thought the night has just begun, basically.
Yeah, I was like, oh, what's going to happen next?
It was amazing how we both reacted differently to the whole situation.
Yeah, I like when things get a little weird, I guess.
I need a little bit of that in me. Maybe I should just be catapulted through a barn once and just get it out of my
I
system.
think we can make that happen.
Okay. Well, I know you can, Johnny. Hey, congrats on the movie, man.
Thank you.
It's a funny movie. There's kind of like an old school
80s type
80s,
film,
like a little bit. There's a little bit of meatballs in there,
I watched Bad News Bears a lot before. helping to write the movie.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Bad News Bears, all of them, including Breaking Training, to let them play Bill Devane one.
Bad News Bears in Japan.
No, that was the third one.
Yeah. No, just the first one.
The Buttermaker one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was. It still holds up.
It's brilliant.
Some of those movies don't. Like I watched Caddyshack again, and as much as I loved it, it doesn't hold up like Bad News Bears because there's like a real story there. Mm-hmm. So in Action Points for All Its Insanity, there's a real story there. I'm trying to save my theme park and the relationship with my 14-year-old daughter. So there's that side of it too.
Yeah, there's a nice old school feel to this movie. Action Point in theaters near you, June 1st. Come back anytime, sir.
Thank you.
Good to see you in one piece. Johnny Knoxville here on The Rich Eisen Show.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.